It's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world here on this Tuesday morning. And I don't know, maybe we'll have a ceasefire coming up on the Iran war. That's the talk of the morning here as well, here on the market. But we'll also do Market Watch, stocks we're paying attention to, local and national stories that you need to know as well. Keep you updated on there as well. We got a story on why is gold starting to go backwards or has been going backwards. Sell off on gold, kind of looking into that as well. Coming up here just shortly. But first, let's get into a Market Watch. Everything is kind of rallying here today on the last day of March. Usually last day of the month, there's a lot of sell-off because people cleaning up their portfolios, tax reasons, and by people, I mean, the big investment companies out there. Well, today, the opposite is happening. Obviously been a down month here on the market as well. Dow Jones right now up 617 points to 45,824. S&P 500's up 107 points. Right now to 6446. The Nasdaq's up 427 points. 21,223 for the Nasdaq. Russell 2K 52 points up right now to 2462 as of this moment. Then there's Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. Now, it's up again today, smaller amount today than yesterday, 526 points, but under that 70,000 limit here, 67,243 for Bitcoin here today. And those cryptocurrencies are in interesting times here as well out there. Stocks we are paying attention to right now. The first one, the spice maker out there, McCormick, is what we're going to look at. Down 5.57% as of right now. Now, it's interesting because it was up in pre-market trading today. Well, Unilever, the company that does the ice cream, their ice cream division, I should say, Unilever confirmed that they are in talks with McCormick over a potential transaction to merge Unilever Foods with McCormick. If a deal was to take place, it would involve an upfront cash component of approximately $15.7 billion and the majority of the consideration in McCormick's equity as well. Upon completion of the transaction, if it happens, it's expected that Unilever and its shareholders will hold 66% of the combined company as well. It was up in pre-market trading based off of this news. You can see in the last 30 minutes or so since the market's been open, well, it's down 6.01% based on this news here today as well. And then let's look at Nike here. We're looking at Nike just because, well, their company's earnings results are being reported today after the bell. The 1.76% up right now by Nike tells you the market's anticipating some positive results here from Nike later on today. And then also Novo Nordisk out there, the Wegovy maker. They're up 1.56% as of right now. They announced a multi-month subscription plan for its Wegovy products on the weight loss, the obesity side of that drug. The plan's expected. Those paying with cash for the drug's money, it's going to be up to $1,200 on the injection, $600 on the pill per year. So a monthly subscription coming up on these drugs as well. The company obviously is looking to compete with their competitor, Eli Lilly, because Eli Lilly does dominate the U.S. GLP-1 market, and they're trying to compete a little bit with the Eli Lilly side of things, and with this multi-month subscription plan, if it's something that you are looking into as well. Coming up later on in the show, when we come back and look at the market, well, we'll look at stocks. We're going to look at Contessa Pharmaceuticals. We're going to look at Marvel Technology and also NVIDIA, because Marvel and NVIDIA, well, making some news today as well. And then another Contessa Pharmaceutical making some waves in that pharmaceutical department, just like Novo Nordisk is here this morning as well here on the marketplace. But first, I told you earlier that kind of looked into why gas prices are basically dropping out the bottom of them here over the last several weeks. And, when you look into the macro of it, gold prices have actually gone down 13%. And that's just in the last month, which was coinciding with, of course, the war there against Iran. Well, This is hurting, obviously, the gold's reputation as a safe haven asset. A lot of people will sell out of the market in uncertain times, move into the precious metals. Now's not the time to be doing that, though, with a 13% drop off. Now, other assets that are not as considered a safe haven, have weathered the conflict here between Iran and the U.S., and they're in better shape. For instance, the S&P 500, well, it's down 7% since the war began. The NASDAQ, which is tech heavy, obviously, well, it's fallen 8%. Even then, Bitcoin only down 2% in the last month since the war has begun. So the gold sell-off is bigger here for a entity that's considered safe out there. The gold sell-off, well, there's some overlapping factors with the war as well. These factors include one, gold was hitting record levels here, high pricing on the gold commodity before the war even began. The relative attractiveness of other low-risk assets, but then also the missed record of living up to its safe haven status. All could be factors here on this 13% sell off on gold. So, this big recent drop here, this 13% drop, well, as we all know, we've talked about it a lot here at McCollum on Business, months long stretch here of record performance for gold over the last year. Heightened geopolitical and economic uncertainty boosted demand for gold and silver. Now, these two stocks, these precious metals, copper to a certain extent, they display a degree of independence from movements in stock prices, but not now, right? As recently as January, gold hit an all-time record of nearly 5,600 per ounce. Even after falling to its current price of about 44.90 an ounce, the price of gold remains about 50% higher than where it stood just a year ago. So you can see, even though there is a 13% drop, well, we're still at record levels here for it. So gold was left vulnerable to a sell-off with that high performance there. Obviously, 50% higher, record performance levels here by gold. Always a sell-off when that happens, and we are definitely seeing it as of right now. And speaking of commodities that are very volatile right now, well, we talk about gasoline a lot, and there's no reason not to. We know I'm going to talk about gasoline on a national level here in just a second. Yes, we know gas right now, 4.99 around the Phoenix area. I saw over $5 yesterday at a Circle K over here in Uptown as well. And so I'm talking the national level here, so keep that in mind. But gas prices on Monday officially top $4 a gallon nationwide on average. That's adding pressure, obviously, to everybody's budgets, household budgets. And even today, oil is back up to $110 here this morning. Data from Gas Buddy showed the national average price for regular gasoline was at $4.018 per gallon. Mid grade is at 4.541 per gallon, and premium is at 4.904 per gallon on average there as well. Not just Gas Buddy, AAA is confirming the average above $4 per gallon as well. So obviously, upward trend in gas prices right now. And we all know why. We all know gas prices have risen sharply in the last several weeks. The average national average, well, it's up about $1.06 per gallon, which is about 36%, by the way, since this Iran war started in February. So, there's a large rally in oil markets, meaning they go up to 110, they come back down to low 100s, back up again. Yeah, U.S. crude futures as of yesterday, well, they settled at $102 a barrel. That was up $3.24. They jumped more than $3 in Asian trading because Kuwait said an oil tanker was attacked at the Dubai port. So it continues to tell you that there's ongoing supply risks in the gas side. And as I said earlier here, let me look it up again really fast here. I refresh my screen. Oil is $110 on the Brent crude as of right now here on the market as well. So we're seeing another increase here in gas. It'll come down later in the day if it goes traditional, but officially nationwide, $4 a gallon average. And as we know here in Phoenix, We are well above that, about a dollar above that roughly as of right now. And hey, if you're traveling out there, we got a bunch of airline stories coming your way. But as of yesterday, the workforce, TSA, well, they began to receive their back pay. 6 weeks without a paycheck? Well, they started hitting bank accounts yesterday. Officials confirmed that the money, which totals over $1 billion, began going out yesterday. And signs of improving wait times at some airports, well, they were very obvious and they were very quick as well on Monday. So as of this morning, Tuesday morning, the posted wait times at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International and Hobby Airport over there in Houston. So Atlanta and Houston, the two sites are the longest hours long waits in recent weeks to get through TSA. They report this morning that their time is now below 15 minutes wait time. Other airports reported similar drop offs as more TSA officers, came back to work. A lot of them were calling out because they had to go, obviously, work someplace else to earn some income. Now, why are they getting paid? Well, because the executive order from President Trump over the weekend bring up money because Congress failed to act on the larger shutdown of the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, out there. So we are starting to see a little bit faster TSA lines here starting this morning. And other airline news out there, we're getting into the summer travel season. So some things you need to know. JetBlue has officially raised its checked bag fees. Well, why? Well, they say it's to offset the impact of higher jet fuel prices. Passengers, you now have to pay at least $39 to check a bag. That's up $4 per bag from the old fee, which was obviously $35 if you do the math. Checking a second bag, will cost at least $59. That's up from the $50 price tag before. Now, those rates apply to bags checked more than 24 hours before departure. If you check your bag within 24 hours of departure, well, you're going to be charged an additional $10 per bag on top of the rates we just talked about. I don't know. I get why they do it, but it just makes zero sense to me. It doesn't cost more day of, but hey, whatever. JetBlue increased the fees as airlines are maneuvering to cover their rising jet fuel costs. I mean, prices to get on an airplane are ridiculous now, and now they're trying to shuttle it into other areas as well. And now we're going to have to wait for this airline story to happen, but high speed internet, even faster high speed internet, I should say, coming to Delta here, but we have to wait till 2028 for this. But Amazon and Delta Airlines, they're joining up forces. They're going to significantly upgrade the in-flight Wi-Fi experience, which will eventually give passengers the ability to make video calls at 30,000 feet. Just what we all want. Our seatmate we don't know, calling Aunt Jane to gossip, right, during the flight, or the guy that has to yell, sell, sell, all flight long. These companies' CEOs got together. They announced earlier today that Amazon Leo, which is Amazon's high-speed satellite internet service, it'll be provided on board Delta flights starting in 2028. So they say this new Wi-Fi system will be a game-changing experience, and they said the pricing actually will be substantially less to utilize it on the airline as well. Amazon Leo uses low Earth orbit satellites to provide high-speed internet service to rural and remote locations. They said at the key, Delta says that this team up is the key to maintaining Delta's competitive edge here in the side. Because I do know people that fly a lot, and they are very particular on which airlines and which types of planes they get on based off of internet service for especially for longer flights out there as well. So a couple of airline of information for you there, but it's tax season. Your taxes are due here in about 16 days, and we have brand new data here from the IRS. Well, it's showing that what they said would happen is actually happening. Americans' average tax refunds here in this filing season, well, they've risen significantly from last year so far. And they said expected that to happen with the big, beautiful bill passing last year. Problem is, you're losing that refund with all the increased costs out there in the economy. IRS data through March 20th, it shows the average tax refund amount. Well, it's up. It's the $3,571 in this filing season to date. That's an increase of $350, which is 10.9%. from the average refund last year at this time in the filing season. The total amount refunded to taxpayers by the IRS through March 20th, well, it was more than $202 billion dollars. That's an increase of 12.9% from the amount refunded at this stage last year as well. The total number of refunds issued increased modestly from last year. It went up 1.8%. So it's just over 56.7 million, with an increase of about 1 million for this filing season. Overall, the filing season is progressing at a slightly slower pace than last year. The total number of returns received as of March 20th was about 78.9 million received. That's a decrease of 0.9%. The total number of returns processed was just over 77.8 million, which is down 1.1%. So we're filing our taxes a little slower this year as well. A growing number of taxpayers are choosing to prepare their tax returns on their own this year. The number of self-prepared returns filed are up 1.9% to more than 37.8 million people. So the number of e-file returns submitted by tax professionals, to contrast that self-done ones, as well, it's down 1% when they file it on behalf of their clients when compared to last year. 39.7 million submitted by tax professionals so far this year. So some interesting changes here in the tax filing season as we are looking at that as well. And folks, here at McCollum on Business, we're going to take a quick break here. Come on back. We'll talk more about the market on this last day of March. Usually last day of the month, we have sell-offs and big conglomerates and big investment firms selling off for tax reasons and things. Not at least last time we checked on the market. We'll see how it is now. Look at those additional stocks that we're paying attention to. Hey, the Artemis 2 is still supposed to take off tomorrow. Well, a lot of people in Arizona had a lot to do with that. We'll talk a little bit about the companies involved there, plus so much more. So come on back, McCollum on Business. And we're back here at McCollum on Business, 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Well, as long as the markets are open. Of course, as soon as we get done here, we get this put up on demand as well. On our YouTube page, TME Media AZ is where you can find that page at, as well as we roll right into the main event with me and 17-year NFL veteran Dale Hellestrey. Bruce Cooper comes in on Tuesdays as well to join us as we talk local sports as well as national sports out there. Come and join us live 8 to 10 a.m. here at Robat TV. As soon as that's done, well, we get it up on demand also on the YouTube page for our production company. TME Media AZ is where you can find that on YouTube as well. Free podcast system as well for the main event. Just search the main event with Steven or the main event with Dale, and it pops right up for you. Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, whatever you listen to your favorite podcast systems. Give us a like and follow. We'd appreciate it as well. Follow TME Sports Show as well on X, as that is the social media component of the show. You can converse with us there as well. And then for that, and then of course the pit stop every Wednesday, new episode comes out. This week, well, we look back at Martinsville last weekend, and of course the Barber Motorsports there in Alabama for IndyCar. Look back at that. Look ahead to this weekend's racing around NASCAR. Easter weekend coming up. IndyCar is off this week as well. But Easter weekend, so a little bit different racing. That'll be out on Wednesday for you as well. The pit stop here on demand, Robat TV, the YouTube page, TME Media AZ as well. And that has its own podcast, free podcast as well. The main event, excuse me, the pit stop with Steven, and it pops right up for you. You have to be a little more specific with that because there's a lot of pit stops out there that are dormant. Pit Stop with Steven is where you can find that on your favorite podcast system. But of course, go to TME Media AZ on YouTube for a lot of easy access to our shows there as well. And of course, you see the Real Matrix every Friday, 10 a.m. here, Robat TV. New episode comes out. Then at noon, on not on the YouTube page because they do a little bit more restricting there, but on Rumble, which is a YouTube equivalent, rumble.com/user/slash the Real Matrix. You can load up, see the Real Matrix there as well at noon. Free podcast for that as well. Just search the Real Matrix Angry Patriot on your favorite podcast system. It comes up as well. The audience is growing both on Rumble as well as on the free podcast system. Of course, everything here at Robat TV is fantastic as well. We need to grow the other entities out there, and we will start putting, for those of you that prefer Rumble over YouTube, I've seen a lot of you have reached out to us on that. We're going to start putting the sports stuff on Rumble here coming up as well. So be happening here very shortly on that side of things. And folks, we appreciate you very much. And don't forget, also on X, TME Media AZ. Well, that's our production company. We'll do announcements there on what we're doing as a company, shows we have upcoming, shows that are currently going on as well, and some updates on things that we do here. Like we produce several shows that we don't put out, meaning we record them, we put them out, we do the sound on them, and then we give them to other entities that push them out there as well. So we're proud to do that as well. So we'll be putting a lot of stuff up. TME Media AZ on X is our parent company here in terms of our production side of things. With all that being said, let's get right into that market watch. The final day of March, I expected a sell-off here today, just traditional and what the market's been doing lately. The opposite is happening here today. Dow Jones is up 556 points right now. S&P 500 is up 106. The Nasdaq's up 445 points. Then you got the Russell 2K, the small cap index, up 48 points here today as well on this market. So good day on the market. Even Bitcoin, well, it's up 786 points right now, 67,000, meaning it's below that 70,000 level. Kind of gets above the 70, 71, 72, stays there for a few days, and then falls back down after that as well. Stocks we are paying. So successful final day of March here coming up on the market. And then, you've got stocks we're paying attention to right now as well. We told you we're going to look at Contessa Pharmaceuticals, right? We looked at Novo Nordisk earlier with that monthly subscription program. Well, now Contessa Pharmaceuticals is up 45.43% right now. It means one of two things. Either they have a drug that has gone through the testing process and has been successful, or they're being bought out as well. Well, they're being bought out, folks. Eli Lilly said it agreed to buy Contessa Pharmaceuticals. Lilly did say in a press release the acquisition would help advance work Contessa is doing on treating excessive daytime sleepiness and other neurological conditions. So Eli Lilly wanting to get into that business, and Contessa's done enough positive work on it. Lilly sees this a good purchase. Well, that means Contessa's up that 45.45% right now. And then let's look at Marvel Technology out there. So Marvel does a lot of AI stuff, radio access, ecosystems, that type of things. Very technological stuff out there. Well, they're up 6.64% right now. They were up 11% at the market open. So come back a little bit, but still up that 6.66%. Why? Well, NVIDIA will be investing $2 billion in Marvel Technology, all part of a strategic partnership between the two of them. NVIDIA said it plans to connect Marvel with its AI factor and radio access network ecosystems. So there we go. Strategic partnership from that Nvidia up 2.72% right now. Obviously, being a part of this deal as well. Today, we'll check their stock also, and it's up that 2.71%. Man, Nvidia is just investing billions of dollars left and right now. Like you get a billion, you get a billion, you get 3 billion to continue to grow their market out there. And folks, let's get into some local stories here as well. And as of now, like I said, it's been delayed a few times. As of now, it is a go. It's tomorrow, April 1st. This isn't an April Fool's joke at all, but NASA will send 4 astronauts. Well, at least they're going to launch them and send them around the dark side of the moon. And then, of course, back to Earth. It'll be the first time something like this has been done since the 1970s. As of tomorrow, we'll get started. It's a test run before, we try to return to the surface of the moon in 2028. None of this happens, of course, without a lot of people here in Arizona, or at least ties to Arizona coming up here. We have a big entity of people here that are way smarter than I am, that work a lot on these programs. So, Honeywell over in Glendale, well, they were there was a video back in 2020, by the way, and it showed planning and development of this, getting this Artemis 2 up there as well. But engineers crafted the tools there at Honeywell to return astronauts to the moon all the way back into 2020. We know they were working on that. Northrop Grumman, and by the way, Honeywell over in Glendale, right? Northrop Grumman, well, the Gilbert location, they received the Halo capsule in 2025, which is the Halo capsule is where the astronauts will be housed on this roughly a 10-day mission coming up. Future Artemis missions will bring it to the moon as a place for astronauts to live, meaning that capsule as well. Halo capsule created there in Gilbert. And then once NASA does pick a lunar rover, ASU will have equipment on that lunar rover capturing spectral data. Well, they want to identify, quantify, and map minerals and volatiles up there on the moon. But not just up here in Phoenix, right? Down in Tucson, the University of Arizona. They're watching the launch. Well, because they're eyeing 2028 on the Land on the Moon mission. That'll be when Artemis 4 will return astronauts to the surface of the moon. U of A has a contract for astronauts to install their seismometer to detect earthquakes, or basically moonquakes, if we want to be more specific, how the Earth, how the surface of the moon moves. So a lot of this stuff going on tomorrow. So when you're watching the launch tomorrow, if it does happen, think of all the Arizona people involved in this process as well. And well, Attorney General Chris Mays is at it again. Well, not suing President Trump this time. Nope. She wants Arizona regulators to reconsider the decision to repeal renewable energy requirements for most of the state's utilities. Yeah, if you remember, the Arizona Corporation Commission did vote earlier this month to roll back the renewable energy standard and tariff. This is that REST Act that they talked about, the REST rules. Well, they required regulated utilities. This would be APS, Tucson Electric Power, are the two regulated ones, to obtain at least 15% of their electricity from renewable sources. They got rid of that rule for those specific entities. So now it is an all Republican commission. Obviously, Chris Mays is a Democrat out there. But the all Republican commission did vote to abandon the rules. They argued the amount to a subsidy for the renewable energy industry that unfairly burdens Arizona ratepayers. Regulators first adopted the requirements 20 plus years ago. When, by the way, when Chris Mays did serve on the commission is when it was put into effect. Interesting enough, she was a Republican back then, right? At that time frame. So she was one of them that voted to put these regulations into place. So it makes sense she's not happy they're being taken off as well. The Attorney General's office filed an application asking for a rehearing on the issue, and some opposition entities also have filed for a rehearing on the issue as well. Mays has argued the commission began the process to rebuild the rules before completing a required analysis that will look at the economic impact of the decision. That includes the cost and benefits to residents and businesses. So that's the angle she's taken here to kind of fight it coming up, but we'll have to see where that goes. Of course, SRP is not a regulated entity there by the Arizona Corporation Commission, and they're still relying on a lot of renewable energy on their side of things. There, APS and Tucson Electric don't want those government regulations put on them to go that route as well. And look, it's been a fight for a long time. It's going to continue to be a fight out there, but it is literally for the survival of these desert regions here that we live in, Las Vegas, here in Arizona as well. Yes, and the Bureau of Land Reclamation, they're in charge of the Colorado River water entity and who gets what. Well, they've been, for lack of a better term, flooded with comments all over its plan for dividing the Colorado River's supply of water. And that's a dwindling supply of water there on the Colorado River. So 18,000 states, cities, tribal nations, industry groups, 18,000 comments have flooded the entity here, Bureau of Reclamation. All from people that rely on this Colorado River water. Basically, almost nobody is happy about the plan that is out there as of right now. Not only are they not happy, people are downright angry about this plan coming up as well. Arizona and six other states that rely on the river, they missed those deadlines back in November and even February of this year to find an agreement on their own, which means the federal government gets to decide now because they couldn't do it on their own. So, under the draft environmental impact statement issued in January, the federal government will impose sharp cuts to many users if the states failed to reach a deal by October, divvying up the river. And these are going to be huge cuts. They're just going to say, everybody, psh, you're cut. No more water for you in these levels. Mandatory cuts would fall most heavily on Arizona under each of the five options in the plan. Cuts are ranging from as high as 58% for Arizona, 46% for Nevada as well. Now, upper basin states, we'll get to those in a second, they'll largely avoid mandatory cuts in their share of river water. Well, because they don't rely on releases from reservoirs like the lower basin states do. Snow melt from their mountains and things gives them a lot of their water. That's why they wouldn't have as many cuts there. Lower basin states are Arizona, for instance, Nevada, of course, these desert states. Well, the lower basin states argue that the federal plan fails to take into account previous voluntary cuts that they have made while leaving upstream states, basically with no repercussions at all. Upper basin states are Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. They also oppose this plan, ironically enough, even though they're going to get no cuts, because they say it ignores impacts of releasing water stored in their part of the basin and the fact that in times of drought, they already face scarcity from diminishing snowpack up in their areas. So this fight, nobody's happy with it. The big story coming out of this is 18,000 people have complained about the upcoming plan, or at least the January plan there from the Bureau of Reclamation on the water divvying upside. And this is an important factor. Everybody wants their number. Everybody needs their number. I mean, the upper basin states are just saying, hey, you're not going to take our water that we don't need. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this gets split up here as well and who remains what. Because let's face it, without water here, it's going to be very difficult to live here in the valley as well. And folks, appreciate you joining me here on this Tuesday edition of McCollum on Business. We'll roll right into the main event, live 8 to 10 o'clock as well. Me, 17-year NFL veteran, Dale Hellestray. Bruce Cooper comes in as well today, local sports legend in terms of Channel 12 here coming in today as well. So come and join us, folks. Until then, everything will be on demand for you. Share us with your friends. TME Media AZ, folks. We'll see you then. Have a great Tuesday night.